Hi, good evening, sir. I would like to take you through the essentials of the Mission Planner ground control station software. Natively, it works on Windows and it does also work on Linux, but it requires a few configurations before you can port. But it's very easy to use it on Linux. When you launch the software, you're welcome with the data plan screen. You actually have five tabs to play with, but we'll first have a look at the main screen. On the main screen, you have five components, and the first part is the communication connection part of the mission planner, which works with the modem that comes with the telemetry module. And once you have the communication module, you can connect it based on the communication protocol specified by the manufacturer against the baud rate or the transmission rate, and then you just click connect, and then it establishes connection between the communication, the aircraft, and that of the ground control station. The next is the data plan or the data flight log map. So here, basically, when the aircraft is airborne, this is where the telemetry data will be overlaid on the map. You have the zoom panel here where you can zoom in and out, or you can adjust or pan the map. Down here, you have the number of satellites count as well as the horizontal resolution of the GPS. You have the heading, you have the waypoint, you have the target heading as well as the GPS tracking. Down here, you have the control taskbar where you have several control panels and 8 sub control panels. Some get activated once the aircraft is connected. Some are also not activated because the aircraft is not connected. So at the action tab, this is where we will issue all the various commands to start the aircraft, stop the aircraft, get the aircraft back, pre-configuration of the aircraft, and all that. At the very top, we have the HDO, that's the virtual head-on display. On this side is the altitude scale, and here is the speed scale. You can always change these units depending on what your measurement scheme is. So with that, you can come to the configuration area and then you can change your unit. So if you prefer feet, you can change that to feet, and then you can also change this one as well, and then you can have it in knots or yeah. So when you do that, it will automatically take effect here. If it is meters you want, you can go back and then change that as well. And then here you have your ground control, or what we call the ground airspeed, as well as the airspeed. Here you have your horizontal, virtual horizontal. You have your compass scale. Here you have your communication signal strength represented in percentage. So the communication strength is always indicated here. Down here you have your operational flight mode. So whether it's a quad mode, fixed wing mode, you have it displayed here, and you have your GPS quality strength also displayed here as well. Here you have your filter sensors in terms of its status. So your GPS, compass, accelerometer, barometer, all those compass. Ideally, they are not supposed to go above 1. So if you see anything peaking above here, that means that the sensors are having some issues. And then you also have your vibrations. So where you have your motors and other things, you can also see that as well. The next is the plan view. I have augmented my surface a little bit. So this is where I have my waypoint command instructions, and then I have my planning view, and this is where you do all your writing of your commands after you finish planning onto the aircraft. Down here you have your settings. So if you are going to install the firmware onto the autopilot board, you can do that here by selecting the type of vehicle that you want to run, and then you install that firmware. And then once that firmware is installed, you can come to the configuration panel, enable the full list parameter, and then you can configure the aircraft. In this simulation or in this training, I'm going to be running a software in a loop, so I'm not connecting it to any physical aircraft. I'm going to fly a quad plane or a quadcopter. So here I'm going to select quad plane, select the type of vehicle. Traditionally, the quad plane is a combination of a multicopter and a fixed wing, and in AdriPilot, it's called quad plane. So I'm going to select that, and it's going to download it from the AdriPilot server. And then once that is downloaded, it's established a connection to the SITL for me, right? So here you have your aircraft currently positioned towards the east, and that is this side here. So now you could see that some of the message panels are up and running. Initially, because we hadn't connected the aircraft, they were not showing or they were not visible. So now with this we can go to quickly start planning some missions and play with the aircraft. Thank you for your time.